Hello and good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world, and welcome to today's Postgrad Insight session, part of the wider festival week, which is all about encouraging international students to come to the UK and the great opportunities that there are in the UK with various different universities, accommodation providers, and even funding providers. Before we take you any further, just a reminder, this is a live session. So if you're watching in the future, please bear that in mind. It's not a live session, so please send your questions through to Gareth at postgradsolutions.com. If you are watching live today on one of our social channels, via Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram, or you're watching on the website or through Zoom, please include your questions in the message or chat facility on your screen. So without wasting too much more time, I'd like to hand you over to Alberto, who's a student recruitment expert at Kingston University, who are going to be today's presenters. We will be back for the Q&A session at the end. We do have a few videos in this presentation, so if for whatever reason it doesn't quite work, we will ensure that we send the video to you after the session. Thank you, and Alberto, over to you.
Thank you very much, Gareth, and welcome everyone to this webinar today. It is a pleasure to have you over. It is a pleasure that you're watching this video from Kingston University. So hopefully I'll present to you everything that involves that's involved with your postgraduate studies here at Kingston University. The presentation today is going to cover the geographical location, so where in London we are, what about Kingston should get you hyped up, or as hyped up as we are even, to welcoming you on our campuses. We'll then talk about some of the aspects on your application journey, so the accommodation and some of the post studies things you can expect. So any job opportunities we could help you to get. So destination London. So obviously studying in Kingston means that you're living in London or not, but either way, London's going to play quite a significant part on your studies. So some of the things to be looking forward to whilst living in London is obviously the superb public transport that makes London such an attractive place for students, as it's easy to explore the city and discover for yourself what London has to offer. So I don't think I mentioned at the start of this presentation actually, but I should have. As well as working for the university in the recruitment team, I'm a current student as well here at Kingston, studying a banking and finance degree. And I very much agree with this point, how Kingston, being just a short train journey away to central London, it's really a pivotal aspect of the university. It's a pivotal strength and a very positive point actually, as it offers me with the opportunity to explore what London has to offer. So being just a train journey away means that I can attend to different conferences, events, regardless of the sector. So for my sector, the banking industry is it's very attractive, but given the size of London in terms of population and the area, the extension, you've got just about conferences in lots of different industries to explore and to take part on, and as well as that, as well as the professional aspects of things that London has to offer, it allows you to with the opportunity to live, work, and play, whilst undertaking your studies here at Kingston. And also, London's arguably one of the most culturally diverse capital in the world. It welcomes, like we said in the video, people from all over the world. Kingston University offers you with the opportunity to meet people from over 140 different nations. London having 18 million plus visitors each year, it's easy to understand why it's being continuously rated as the best city in the world for about 6 years running now. So on top of that, guys, it's one of the largest financial centers in the world, and it's one of the leading investment destinations. So London actually ranks 5th in the world in terms of how fruitful it is for Fortune 500 companies that are calling the city home, and more than half of the UK's top listed companies, so companies in FTSE 100, more than half of them are based here in London. So it provides our students with some fantastic work opportunities. I will get onto that in more details in a second when I start talking about the work opportunities and our employability team here at Kingston. But it just goes to show how amazing and just how much London has to offer. Now I'll move on to the destination Kingston, which is what I like to focus on. Yep, destination Kingston. So Kingston, as well as London, offers our students with lots of different activities and lots of different extracurricular opportunities. So Kingston itself is a lovely place. I've been here for about 7 years now. If you don't know, Kingston's in the southwest of London and it's right on the Thames River. So as well as the other things that the other talking points that I'll be presenting in a second, please know that there is the Riverside, which is such an amazing place to go in between your classes, to go with friends for picnics or for exercising. I myself cycle to central London and back at times. Yes, you heard that right, central London and back from Kingston. It does take me about 2.5 hours each way, but it's just stunning, right? The views are insane. And cycling to central London and back does not feel as hard as it actually is. It does take about 2.5 hours each way, but given how lovely, given how scenic the Riverside, especially here at Kingston is, it's an easy task, I must say. But as well as that, so Kingston has a unique collection of galleries, museums, lots of music venues, restaurants and bars that suit every taste and budget. There are the restaurants in the Riverside that are slightly pricier, but obviously you've got restaurants in the town centre as well that, like I said, will suit everyone's budget and taste. Kingston upon Thames is, like I said, situated in southwest London. Something that our students consistently tell us about, their favorite things to do here in Kingston is obviously um, the Riverside. Then there's also the shopping centre that is basically walking distance from a lot of our campuses. So it's about a 5-minute walk from our Penryn Road campus, and that offers you with lots of different shops to make your daily, grocery shopping as well as your everyday things like clothing and study materials. So you can maybe benefit from your student discounts whilst you're there. And people also tell us how much they love about the proximity of Kingston to central London. Like I said earlier, regardless, of the fact that say you live in Kingston while studying, being in London will play a pivotal part on your life here, as it will, without a sound of a doubt, offer you with, you know, opportunities to go to conferences in central London, and having that, ease of getting to central London is definitely a plus that I took in consideration when deciding where to study and what for my postgraduate degree, right? Um, I will just now play a video from one of our students who is an international student, and she's giving her testimonial on studying in the UK. Now, Morgan's going to tell us a bit more about what she does at Kingston in her free time, as well as provide you some tips about how to make your studies here, more exciting than I guarantee you it's going to be. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
My name is Morgan. I'm an international student in the US. I'm getting my master's degree in occupational business psychology from Kingston University. Today I'm just going to give you some insight into what it's like studying in the UK. As with most things in the UK, the campuses tend to be a lot smaller than what we're used to back in America. Rather than one big campus, Kingston University actually has 4 separate smaller campuses spread all throughout the town. And not only were the campuses smaller, but the class sizes were as well. There were only about 40 people in my entire course, and we all had the exact same schedules, which meant that we all got to know each other really well. I've also found Kingston University to be a lot more diverse than schools in the US. I had classmates from Australia, Nigeria, England, and Iran, just to name a few. I have been able to meet so many incredible people and have really grown so much as a person since coming to Kingston. It has really forced me out of my comfort zone a lot of times, and it's absolutely the best decision I've ever made.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you found that useful. So I'm now going to talk a bit more about the accommodation and the commuting aspects of studying here at Kingston. You may now notice that what you're looking for in terms of living situation has changed since you studied an undergraduate program. So we do take this in consideration, and we do put out measures to accommodate for that. So you'd be pleased to know that we do reserve a number of spaces in our halls for postgraduate students. Our 75 Penn Road Hall offers self-contained studios reserved exclusively for postgraduate students. A lot of our students doing a postgraduate study here, they choose to live in private accommodation. That is definitely my case. So I did live at halls for my undergraduate studies, but then, now working for the university and studying a postgraduate degree alongside it meant that, I just wanted to have my own place, which, I'm sure many of you are considering that as well. But if you don't, please know that we do reserve spaces in our halls for you guys, for postgraduate students. So renting privately, as I said, is an option. Kingston University, being in London, means that you get, lots of flexibilities in terms of where to live and the sort of locations and budgets and different price tags for rent. So our team, regardless of what you're thinking of doing, or if you don't know what you're doing yet, please let me reassure you that we are here to support you in searching for accommodation, regardless of the choices that you make, whether you're going privately, or if you're renting from us in one of the halls. Please know that you're here. If you are planning on living somewhere else other than our campuses, you'll be basically joining about 50% of our student community who choose to live at home or off campus. So these are commuting students, and there are many benefits to that, right? So if you remain close to your home or work, as many of our postgraduate students do, you will, like me, be able to maintain a full or a part-time employment that you may have already. But please know that if you don't, like I said earlier, there's tons of professional opportunities here at Kingston for both part-time and full-time jobs. So many shops around the town that you can apply for a part-time job for, or if you're studying part-time like I am, you can always work a full-time job in the city and commute in, or vice versa, right? If you have a job in the city and would like to live in Kingston, you can do that as well, and you're 25 minutes away by train. Now, if you do need to stay on campus, so we have services to support you, and this is so during your holidays or in between your study years. So say in between an academic year, especially if you're doing a PhD degree that runs for a handful of years, know that we offer flexi stay programs for the times that you need somewhere else to stay. So say you'd like to live outside of term times for maybe a month or even overnight. That is something we can provide you with, so you can stay on a night-by-night basis in our halls, or for longer durations of time. This is something you can discuss with our accommodations team, and it's just an option to consider. Now I'm going to play a video that our colleague Lucy has put together from the accommodation team, and she goes through the different halls options and what the different facilities that are provided in each of those halls. So once I come back, I will explore a little bit more about Kingston University. Enjoy.
In University's accommodation. We're excited to show you around. Where you live while you're at uni plays a really important part of your overall experience. Here at Kingston, we've got 6 different halls of residences, and they each have their own unique character. All of them have free on-site Wi-Fi, laundrette facilities, on-site management, and 24-hour security. So whether you like to party, prefer a chilled atmosphere overlooking the river, or want to be able to wake up 15 minutes before class, we've got something for everyone. Even better, every single one of our first year students gets a guaranteed offer of accommodation in our halls, and you'll even get to pick your own room. The cost of our halls vary in price, so you'll be able to find something to suit your budget. Every one of our halls of residences are situated around our hometown, Kingston upon Thames. And Kingston really does have it all going on. You can shop till you drop in one of London's biggest shopping destinations, relax and enjoy the amazing views on the banks of the River Thames, or take a walk through our 2 royal parks and watch the deer roaming. By night, Kingston transforms into a lively and energetic hotspot for students from all across London, with its vast array of cafes, restaurants, bars, nightclubs and live gigs. We're also consistently rated as one of London's safest boroughs. Central London is just a short train ride away for those who want to experience the museums, galleries, culture, nightlife, excitement and buzz of a major world capital. And yet it's far enough away so that you still have the advantages of a slower pace of life. And now for the best bit. Let's take a peek at each of our halls of residences and the rooms. First up, we have 75 Penryn Road. These halls are located in the very heart of Kingston and on the doorstep of our Penryn Road campus. The modern single bedrooms are furnished with built-in study area, bookshelves and a wardrobe. Each room has a modern ensuite bathroom that includes your own shower pod. Students share the state-of-the-art kitchen, and there's also a huge common room with seating, study and TV areas which provide the perfect environment to relax with friends in. We also have self-contained studios available with ensuite facilities and your own kitchenette. Next up, Clay Hill. Clay Hill is one of our biggest halls of residences, and during term time it's home to over 700 students. There is a lively and social atmosphere here, but also plenty of green space so you can relax. Clay Hill is ideal for students studying at Penryn Road or Knights Park campus. Each of the single bedrooms include a desk and ensuite bathroom facilities. You'll have access to the shared social area with a TV and games room. Yep, that could be you, ping-ponging around, living your best life. Next up, Middle Mill. This accommodation has a quiet riverside location. It's a stone's throw from Kingston School of Art and only a 5-minute walk from Kingston Town Centre. Middle Mill is home to over 200 of our students. Each single bedroom has its own study area, a ton of personal storage space and a wash basin. You and another 7 students would share the communal kitchen, dining and relaxation area. Now we welcome you to our Seething Wells accommodation, which has a beautiful location on the River Thames in Surbiton. Again, this is ideal for students studying at Penryn Road and Knights Park campuses. There's lots of large green social spaces surrounding the halls. The single ensuite bedrooms come complete with a study desk. And all the kitchen, dining and relaxation areas are shared by 6 students. And our final destination is over on our beautiful leafy Kingston Hill campus. This is where you'll find our Walkden and Chancellor's halls of residences. It's the perfect option if you'll be studying at either Kingston Hill or Roehampton Vale. Single ensuite study rooms are fully furnished with a desk and chair, bookshelves and a wardrobe. It's only a short walk through campus to our library, making this accommodation perfect for late night study sessions. And as usual, the communal kitchen, dining and relaxation areas are shared by the students in the flat. So that's Kingston's accommodation options. Now don't forget, it's over to you to get creative and decorate your room how you want it. So if you want to check out these rooms again at your own pace, find out about the prices and the booking process, head on over to our website and search for accommodation.
Let's now explore the incredible achievements and recognitions that define the university. So from a global rankings to fostering creativity and inclusion, our institution has an impressive journey to share, right? So we're delighted to announce that Kingston University, we've been able to secure a spot amongst the top 250 young institutions globally. And we've earned this recognition by Times Higher Education. So this is a prestigious acknowledgement that showcases the commitment of the university to pushing the boundaries and setting new standards of education. Our students are truly the trailblazers of tomorrow, right? So the latest higher education BCI survey has shown that Kingston University stood tall as the leading institutions for graduate startups in London. We're actually number one, which is something that I'm definitely proud of, especially being in that similar study area, right? So my colleagues from the business school are also very proud that we stand as the top institution for graduate startups in London, as it gives us reassurance that one, we're valued, and two, that there is always that extra step we can take. So if we do want to maybe start a new business, the university would definitely offer the right circumstances, the right environment for it. So yeah, this is all about pushing new boundaries and new standards in education. Kingston believes that nurturing creativity and originality is a strength. Our students are encouraged to explore their ideas and think outside of the box. So the approach on their studies is always with an enterprising mindset, regardless of what field of study you're in. This foundation sort of equips them to tackle real-world challenges and innovative solutions, and you very much find that. So if you join Kingston University from this academic year, we've only recently embedded a future skills module in all our study areas and all our courses, and it's basically a module that will present you with a with a entrepreneurial mindset, and it's a future skills module that will give you a future insight on the sort of jobs and the sort of skills that you need to develop on, that will hopefully put you in a stronger position for life after studies, right? It is something that I'm starting to think about, because as I approach the deadline for my dissertation, which is in just over 2 weeks now, I keep asking myself what next, and knowing that Kingston University has that provides that service and the assistance in finding a job, it definitely puts me in a much better mental and why not physical space, right? It makes me less anxious about what's to come. Kingston is also incredibly proud to be one of the 8 institutions in the UK that's been awarded the Race Equality Charter. This recognition underscores the commitment of the university to promote racial equality, diversity and inclusivity across every facet of the community. So the commitment to cutting-edge research shines brightly. An impressive 70% of Kingston University research students have received world-leading status or ratings in 2022. This speaks volumes about the dedication of the university to advancing our knowledge as an institution, because all the research papers that are created by our students will carry the Kingston brand with it. And that is something we nurture within the campuses. We want people doing research, and we do provide help and support along the way for students undertaking those sort of projects, right? I will now move on to the work opportunities. So I can't help but mention this in every slide that I've presented so far because it is such a pivotal facet of the university. So, Gareth, are you happy to move on to the next slide, please? Amazing, thank you. So, in order to explore some of the distinctive features that sets the university apart, like I mentioned before, the innovative approach to work placements that we have, that we're constantly embedding in our studies or in our programs. Buckle up as we dive into a world of practical industry experience and career growth, right? So imagine having the chance to bridge theory and practice seamlessly. At Kingston, we're proud to offer that, and it provides you with a rare opportunity of an optional work placement alongside your studies. And Kingston is one of the few universities that provides this, that champion this. So most of our courses offer the optional year, which is an integrated work placement program that's designed to help you to gain valuable practical industry experience, and offers the opportunity to manage a real life situation in a work placement. So this experience will be especially helpful when hopefully in a couple of years' time or in 1 year's time, you'll be in my shoes searching for a job. So through the program, you gain an insight into a particular industry role. Now you decide if your chosen career path is right for you once you've completed that year, because at least from my experience, right, it's good to know what you want, but I think more importantly, it's probably best that you know what you don't want, and that's what that year of professional experience offers you. It just gives you reassurance that what you're planning for your future or for your professional career is indeed what you want, and what you see yourself doing in the long run. So I've mentioned them before, but these guys have absolutely helped me tremendously. So I'm ever so grateful for them. And so the careers and employability team at Kingston University are amazing when it comes to offering support to our students to search for a work placement and to ensure that the placement that you undertake will sort of meet the requirements of the course and aligns with your career goals. And now these guys will sit with you pretty much ad hoc and run you through some research questions. So they do mock research practice, which is something that I've done in the past. They will also look at your CV and pretty much help you to streamline it and polish it all up before you submit applications to a placement year. Kingston is also going to provide you with access to a range of contacts within organizations across multiple industries, not just in London, but mainly London, but also across the UK, right? There's also a lot of support in growing your network. So I did mention earlier about the different, conferences that you can attend in Central London. And now that is one of the best ways in which you can grow your network by attending those events. They usually end with a social, hour where you're just talking to different people over food, snacks, sometimes wine as well. Why not? Now that allows you to grow a network, allows you to discover some relevant opportunities. Job opportunities might come out of those conferences and those meetings, and you can meet your potential employees and employers, right? And Kingston will help you with that. They will provide you a list of people you can talk to, so past alumni that now have businesses and are looking for committed and ambitious students like you, like me, like all of the Kingston University students. Gareth, if you could go to the next slide, please. Great, thank you. So now I'm going to cover a bit more on our facilities. So construction in Kingston never seems to stop, right? Kingston University has undergone a large amount of new builds and renovation projects over the last few years. Now, we've invested over 118 million pounds to transform our facilities in order to provide students with a better, first-class experience in learning and teaching, across the university. So we have already completed several of those projects, including the Kingston School of Art renovations and the townhouse project, which if you've not heard about it yet, it's an award-winning you know library that we've constructed in our Pennon Road campus, not just for the Pennon Road students. This is something that I should have mentioned earlier, actually. Students from all different study areas will find that there's a lot of intercalations between each other. So because you're based at Pennon Road does not mean you can't go to Kingston Hill and use the facilities there. And collaborate with students from that other industry or that other study area. And you find that the facilities being open to other students will very much facilitate that, right? So I was just in the Bloomberg room yesterday doing some research for my dissertation, and one of the engineering students, came to the room as well. He wasn't really looking at any of the stock oscillations of the last few weeks or anything like that, but he just said he just likes being in that type of environment. Now, it was very quiet in that room, so he did say that he was looking for somewhere quiet to study, but he also said that it's very interesting to, overhear conversations from the finance students and sort of gain new insights into, other dynamics of the other subjects. Now, the townhouse I mentioned was designed by RIBA Award, which is an award-winning project, and the main refurbishments that I would like to highlight here has been the School of Arts Mill Street building at the Knights Park campus. So for those who are interested in the art courses, know that that whole campus went through a massive refurbishment project, and it just goes to show the vision of the university for the future, and will help students to further to understand that the reputation that we have and that competitive edge we look for is something very important to us. And yeah, I'll now move on to the our open day that we're very excited to invite you to. So in a few weeks' time, so on the 11th of October 2023, we're going to be hosting a virtual postgraduate event where we'll give you the opportunity to speak to course leaders. So regardless of the program you're interested in studying, it doesn't need to be the one. It can be a few of the courses that you're considering applying to. Just sign up to all of them and look at the programs once they've been released. So once you apply for the event, we'll send you a confirmation email that's going to have a link to the program, and you can sort of play around with the different subject sessions and the different start times for those, and you can attend as many as you want, and you can speak to as many different academics as you can. So if you scan the QR code on the screen now and register for the event, or alternatively, you can just search for a postgraduate open event on the website or in Google, and then you can fill in the form and go from there. Now we're going to move on to the contact us screen. And I can't stress enough, guys, if you have any questions, if there's something that you feel we've not covered here today, you may be able to find, obviously, more information on our website. We've got such a intuitive combo of information on the website that follow a very logical sort of structure. So students who are looking to study a postgraduate degree but don't know which one to apply for can just go on the postgraduate courses, find one based on their study fields. Once you click on the course and you scroll down to the very bottom of the page, it will sort of guide you step by step on the things you need to do ahead of applying, the sort of information that you need to ask or make sure to get hold of during the open days, and so on. But obviously, goes without saying, if you would like to speak to one of us instead of looking through the information on the website, you can just drop us an email at ukinquiries@kingston.ac.uk for UK questions, for home students questions. Or if you're an international student, which I think a lot of you watching this session today will be, you can just drop us an email at international@kingston.ac.uk, or you can call us on 020-8417-3411. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll now pass it over to Gareth. Thank you, Gareth.
Alberto, thank you for that. That was considering the circumstances with the videos being inflated, you did your best, and that was a great job. Thank you. I just want to ask a few questions that have come in before the session, questions that I've got. You know, I'm pretty lucky in the sense that I've lived in and around the Kingston area, and I know the Kingston area very well. I want to talk about the commute into London. You mentioned borderline insanity, 2.5 hour cycle into central London, which is a long time. But to point out the eagerness of those looking to go to London, it is what, 25 minutes on the train, which from Kingston are every basically 10-15 minutes. And you know, if you drive, it's less than 30-40 minutes drive. Obviously there's traffic. There's good routes to all over London, given how close you are with tube lines, you know, not too far away, being at Wimbledon. But is that a safe assumption to say people don't need to live in London? They can live just on the outskirts and get that vibe from living in London?
Yeah, that's right. And like I mentioned earlier, Gareth, so 50% of our student body actually commutes in, and a portion of those students don't even live in London. They live in Surrey. So, you know, Kingston really does offer students with the best of both worlds in a sense that you're just in the outskirts of London, and you can either live in the city if you'd like, and if your budget, if you can afford it, or if your budget does accommodate for that, or alternatively, you can live further out. I know people who live as far out as Brighton, which is right on the coast. So for those who are not from the UK, so Brighton's right on the coast. It's one of my favorite cities in the UK, actually. It's fantastic. It's got the nice, beach. Now the commute will be slightly longer, of course, but it will still be what, an hour and 20 minutes to Surbiton. So it's doable. I know people as well who work in the city, so they're not even studying Kingston, but work in the city and commute in from Brighton. Now, for those students who are commuting in to either Surbiton Station or Kingston Station, you'd be pleased to know that there's a Kingston University bus that's free of charge that basically connects both of those stations together with all our campuses and halls of accommodation, right? So you can be anywhere within the Kingston Surbiton vicinity, and you pretty much be walking distance from one of the KU bus stops, right? And you won't have to pay a penny towards it. Students can benefit from that. Myself, Gareth, just to provide an example, right? I live in Kingston town centre, and I commute every day to work and to my classes without paying a penny for it, right? I just hop on the uni bus, there and back. Happy days.
Yeah. And that makes sense. Also, I want to elaborate because there will be, like you said, a lot of international students watching that will be like, where's Kingston, and other places that they may not necessarily have heard of. Important to point out that Kingston is one of the closest universities and one of the closest towns to Heathrow Airport. It's 35-40 minutes on a bus maximum. Yes, that's a bus, not a train. That's how close it is. And even railway routes in to and out of Heathrow to Kingston are great. And then on the other side of it, you've got London Gatwick, which isn't a million miles away either. So international flights are a great option for you, any international student, because you've got a way of getting into the town and getting into the city without having to commute too far. So from an international student's perspective, what can they expect in Kingston when they're there? Is it a multicultural vibe? Is there a lot of different nationalities, cosmopolitan? How is it?
Yeah, no, we've got seriously, Gareth, like a network of different levels of support available for international students who are both, trying to settle in. So as soon as they get here, we've got an international recruitment team that specializes in obviously making sure that the students get from the airports when they arrive here, just before the start of their academic years, through to obviously starting their course. So not only did the international recruitment team make sure that you get to your living places right from the airport, but they also make sure that you've got all of your documentations right, that you're registered with a GP, for example, in case you need it. If an emergency pops up, then you're safe, you're prepared. We've then got a network of help points across our campuses for international students who are struggling, so say to find a job or to keep up with their budgets. So there's the student life centers that will offer anything from professional to mental to health advice. They will at least point you to the right place, but seriously, knowing how much you can depend on them, like I have in the last many years, international students can take it from me. You will be supported throughout your student journey, whether that is from when you first apply to your study years to when you become an alumni, and then need to start thinking about what comes next, right?
Okay. And talk to me about funding as well. A lot of people watching will go, cost of living crisis, very difficult at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
How does a student go about applying? What opportunities are there? I noted in one of your images, I think there was a Chevening scholar somewhere, or they're Chevening in the background. Again, that's a third party funding and scholarship provider. But do you work with those types of bodies, and do you actively promote them?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's one that I love answering because Kingston's got tons of opportunities for scholarships, especially for international students. It doesn't mean it's just for international students. All I'm saying is there's help for everyone. Information on the individual scholarship opportunities can be found on the website. I would have loved to mention all of them here, but that would take a whole webinar in itself. And there's also different criteria for each of them as well. So if you want, know that they are there, and if you want to find out more about applying different criteria, I would refer people to the website. But like I said, Gareth, there's also the student life centers that the cost of living crisis is definitely a factor to take in consideration. The cost of absolutely everything has gone up in the last months. If you're not yet in the UK, know that the cost of things have gone up, so it's definitely something you need to take in consideration, and you need to consider when budgeting your money. But you find that part-time jobs is definitely a reality for us postgraduate students, and it almost always be a requirement because unlike undergraduate students, we pay for our living costs. So student loan, if you are from the UK and you qualify for it, will only really cover your studies, and then everything else will sort of have to be paid for ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's where scholarships come in, and that's where part-time jobs come in. I so wish I could have gone more into the opportunities that Kingston itself provides students. So there's the ambassador scheme, for those who don't know. So you'd be working for the university, and you'd be traveling to the different events, higher education events, representing the university, networking with potential students or prospective students, like we call them. And you're just going to be sharing your journey to education and showing them that it's possible, right? The education is for everyone. And that's only one example of many, right? So part-time jobs are definitely a reality. Full-time jobs, if you are a part-time student, it's also a possibility. All I'm trying to say here is rest assured there's going to be a team specialized in helping you regardless of what your difficulties are. We are here for you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Excellent. I think we're going to finish on that note, Alberto, because I think that's a really nice way to finish. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it. And hopefully if anyone's got any questions or concerns, it's on the screen as we speak. You've got UK inquiries at kingston.ac.uk, or if you're an international student, you've got any international inquiries, international at kingston.ac.uk. There have been a few glitches with the video, so we are aware of that. So everyone that's registered for this session who's watching in the future, we will ensure we send you a digital version of this webinar and corrected and updated. But for now, huge thank you. Alberto, thanks for your time. Always love hearing from you about Kingston. Such passion. So we'll catch up with you another time, and thanks for your time. Take care.
Thank you, Gareth. Thank you, everyone, for
Bye-bye.
attending. Bye-bye.